Training camp in the NBA is in full swing, so let's check in around the league. Let's start with the Wolves. Anthony Edwards, he has goals in year 6.
I don't really think I'm going to be able to win Defensive Player of the Year. I got 2 of the best defenders on my team, so it's going to be hard for me to win Defensive Player of the Year. I don't want to take away from those guys, but as long as my impact is there every night, I should be okay. As long as I make an all-defensive team, that means something. But Defensive Player of the Year probably be hard for me, but MVP and championship, that's the goal. I can't guard one game and not guard the next game because we playing, somebody who's not up to par. I got to be ready every night, and I'm going to take pride in that. And I told my teammates to hold me accountable, coaches included.
Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, and a title all in one season. Only Hakeem has done that. But, Perk, I think it's more the sentiment. You like hearing that from Ant?
I do, because guess what, Malika? He felt pain all this offseason from losing in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row, losing the SGA, and then said, you know what, I know what it takes now. I have to be in the best shape, I have to add to my post game, and I have to be able to have a level of accountability to do it on both ends of the floor.
Off to the Clippers, and Ty Lue has a new strategy for James Harden.
Year, do you want to kind of tone down some of his usage?
We don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that. I think, we had to, but we kind of he just had to do too much for us to be successful, to try to win games, to try to stay afloat while Kawhi was out, and so we don't want James to have to do that all year. It's going to be games where he has to do that, but, I think the last 25 games of the season when Kawhi came back, I think was number 2 in offense and number 1 in defense, so we'll be able to score the basketball when everyone's healthy and things are clicking on the right cylinder,
So Harden led the Clippers with over 35 minutes a game and 79 starts here, Bobby Marks. How can they lighten the load for him in his 17th season?
How about a pair of Chris's, Chris Paul and Chris Dunn? Chris Paul, 82 games started last year at Malika. Chris Dunn, 58. 6 out of the 7 games in the first-round series against Denver. Malika, they've got probably the deepest backcourt in the NBA. Certainly their depth is going to be their strength this year in Los Angeles.
A pair of Chris's. It sounds like Christmas for James Harden. Let's go to Mavs camp. Anthony Davis addressed his fitness.
I feel good. I'm kind of almost going to every season because I put on so much weight in the summer. And then by the time, November comes, lose like 255, 258. So I never want to come in at my playing weight because then I lose weight during the season and I'm too small. So I try to go, I lose about 10 to 12 pounds very quickly during camp. I already lost 5 pounds. All the running and playing. So I'm never concerned about that. I feel great.
Perk, you've been in the lab this offseason. Do you take any issue with this strategy?
I do. One, because you have a rookie in Cooper Flagg who's your number 1 pick that's coming in, and what kind of example is that to show him? 2, you're in a tough Western Conference that's loaded. 3, you was traded for an international superstar, and you are that guy on this team right now. You need to come into camp in shape. I'm very disappointed, or a little disappointed, in Anthony Davis.
Victor Wembanyama gearing up for year 3. Remember, he missed the final 29 games of last season with a blood clot in his shoulder, and he spoke about the rigorous training he went through at Media Day. Take a listen.
I can assure you nobody has trained like I did this summer, and this is my best summer so far. I can tell the progress is just incredible. I'm so much more under control, and my conditioning has gotten so much better. But that comes at a price, And what I've done this summer, it's world class.
That's a pretty scary thought to think about as we say hello to Michael C. Wright, who covers the San Antonio Spurs for us. Michael, what specifically has Victor done this summer? He's calling it the best one he's ever had.
Well, Malika, like he said, that deep thrombosis diagnosis, it's shocking to him. It really sort of made him take a pause and sort of put life into perspective. So going into the offseason, he was in a way sort of seeking inner peace. And to get there, he wanted to really push himself physically and mentally in ways that he never has before. And that sort of took him all over the globe. The guy's in Costa Rica, Tokyo, LA, France, and then he's in China. He spends 10 days in China training with Shaolin monks. And what they're doing there, they're doing Kung Fu. They're doing meditation. They are every morning he's having a vegan breakfast that consists of rice, noodles, and zucchini. Now, Victor thinks that all those things are going to help him on the floor this upcoming season. But I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the fact that he went out to Houston. He trained with Hakeem Dream Olajuwon. He went out there on Dreams. He went out there on Dreams 400-acre ranch, and those guys got into the lab. Now, I don't want to get too deep into it, but Malika, could you imagine Victor Wembanyama doing the Dream Shake with his own little twist on it?
Yeah, there's going to be a French twist on the Dream Shake. That is something that I cannot wait to see that deployed this upcoming season. So Victor, he says he's coming back better than ever, right, as healthy as he's been. And we're so glad to hear that because we missed him on the floor down the stretch of that season, last season rather. But the Spurs aren't as healthy as they'd like to be, right, to start training camp. So what can you tell us about De'Aaron Fox and then also their number 2 overall pick, Dylan Harper?
Well, let's start with De'Aaron Fox first. Now, throughout training camp so far, he's been able to participate in everything. He'll tell you that he's ready to go. He said, hey, man, I'm running 15.3 miles per hour on the treadmill. He said, but at the same time, I don't think I'm going to be able to participate in the preseason or in the season opener because traditionally the San Antonio Spurs like to err on the side of caution when it comes to bringing guys back. So they're going to really keep a close eye on him and make sure he's 100% before they bring him back. Now, Dylan Harper, he's got that thumb injury, but he's ready to go. He's a guy right now that can do everything on the basketball court, dribble, shoot, whatever you need to do. But again, they are being cautious with him because they don't want him to get hit on that sore thumb and have an injury setback. But the plan right now is for him to play in the preseason, and he will be ready to go in that season opener on October 22nd.
Okay, so a little bit of a cautious approach here for the San Antonio Spurs before we see their full group out on the floor. Michael Wright, thank you so very much for your time. Victor Wembanyama is a unique singular force, though, in the NBA. The shortened start to his career, it didn't dim his light. He's the only NBA player in league history with 400 blocks, 200 three-pointers, in their first 2 seasons. So Perk, only I don't think is the word of the day. Do you have a word of the day on Wemby for year 3, what you're expecting for him?
Listen, I know sometimes I trip y'all out with my English, but just wait till you hit his French, okay? I do got a word of the day. Inéritable. Repeat after me. Inéritable. You know what that means?
I do not.
Unstoppable in French. Inéritable, unstoppable in French. We seen him working out with the Dream. We saw him getting some mentorship from KG. Even last season, we saw him working out with Jamal Crawford. Look, in a few years, maybe this year, he might be the best player on both sides of the floor. We know what he brings defensively and his impact. Could have won Defensive Player of the Year last year if he would have stayed healthy. But outside of that, offensively, he's going to take that leap. This young fella is a hard worker. He's shown us that since he's entered the league. He put on 12 pounds of muscle his rookie season. So the word I have to describe Victor is inéritable.
Inéritable. Perk's Parisian pronunciation guide coming to you soon. Before we head to break, we have a sad update to a story we shared on this show a year ago. Former college basketball player Kyle Owens has passed away at the age of 24. Kyle gained national recognition after this incredible buzzer beater in February of 2024 that landed him on the SportsCenter top 10. And then a month later, he was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia while at UC Riverside, just a few hours before his senior night. Now, he actually played in that game despite his diagnosis. Kyle's teammates, they remember him as someone who brought energy to every practice and every game and who carried himself with humility and with strength. And even in the face of his illness, he inspired so many others through his determination and his grace. All of us here at NBA Today, we send our deepest condolences to Kyle's parents, Tonya and Keith, his brother Trevor, and all of those who loved him. Kyle was a tremendous light, and we were lucky to know him.